I think the impact the showcase had was visibility overall. Events like the showcase makes people know that not only Humber is here, Humber is around, but that also that the students in Humber are number one smart and are actually innovating, are actually building towards something bigger.
My name is Sonya Patel. I was a student of the Electronics Engineering Technology program. I am part of Dr. Miriam Developer's projects. So specifically, I'm part of the E-textiles project, which is focused on fabricating E-textiles for biopotential monitoring.
My name is Salvador. I'm a mechatronics engineering student at Humber Polytechnic, and I work as a part of Dr. Merriam's lab on e-textiles.
We're trying to create a device that would help with muscle monitoring as well as stimulation. This is supposed to be helpful in the ICU for patients with ICU acquired weakness. It's essentially supposed to help maintain muscle mass and reduce muscle atrophy, and therefore help with patient recovery. And it's a lot more comfortable and just a better alternative than what is currently being used. The part that excites me the most is that I'm able to combine both electronics and biomedical sciences together. I've always had a passion for biomedical science, so it was always something that I wanted to do something behind the scenes where you can create something that helps people. But I didn't really want to work with patients directly, so I think this was kind of like the best of both worlds.
My specific project is focused on sleep apnea. Basically, we're making a e-textile that is able to detect sleep apnea episodes so that the patient is aware and knows about them so doctors can do something about it. Compared to the current technology that is used to detect sleep apnea, basically they put a whole bunch of wires and electrodes on a patient and expect them to sleep. So in contrast to that, what we've made is more like a wearable. It's a little bit like a vest that contains all these sensors that are able to detect how a person breathes. So we're able to also detect when the person stops breathing. Recently, we went to a sleep lab for the first time to test our actual prototype. Fortunately, we got a fair amount of success. It was able to detect breathing and detect signals pretty nicely. When I first went to the sleep lab, if I'm completely honest, I was really nervous. It's because it is a project I've been working on for so long, and we worked on it since the start, since it was just a concept. It was this idea of, oh, it's finally time, and of course there's a lot of nerves. I remember when I first stepped into the sleep lab, at that moment I was like, okay, this is serious. What we are building here at Humber at the lab is something that is contributing, that can make an impact in people's lives.
The stuff that we're doing is kind of new. It's not really as much talked about, and I feel like it was a good idea to kind of put it out there and let other people also know about what we were doing at Humber. So one of our students does a lot of 3D printing, and we brought like a whole binder full of 3D printed textiles and just different things that we've created here at Humber. And so a lot of people were really interested in looking through the binder and getting more of an idea of how we can use 3D printing to create e-textiles, which I think is kind of something new. Like it's not something that you see a lot on the internet. So I think a lot of people enjoyed the stuff that we presented. They were really intrigued and wanted to learn more, and they had a lot of questions. So that was really nice.
Usually when we do embroidery, we use conductive thread, and we had been tossing around with the idea of using wire to embroider instead of just any type of thread. And that's something I worked on for a significant amount of time. And in the end, I had pretty much a prototype where there was wire embroidered into it. And that's something that was taken to showcase also in a binder. At a later event, I went to Ottawa for a conference, and I heard someone from a completely different university mention that, oh, they went to a showcase where they met Humber students, and they had been working on e-textiles and even embroidered with wire. And I was like, wow, people actually saw this, and it made an impact on people that we're actually doing something. We're innovating as a part of Humber. But it made me feel wonderful, right? Because sometimes I get the feeling that Humber is a little bit small, so not everyone knows what we do and who we are as students. And seeing this random person I met talk about it and say, hey, we went to a showcase and learned this about Humber, it was like, oh my god, that's something I've been working on. That's something I've been a part of, and it made me feel this pride, I guess is the right word, on Humber, on the work we've been doing at the lab.